Welcome back to our channel, my dear friends. Today, we are talking about a simple idea that can completely change your life. Your habits create your identity. Your future is not built only by big decisions. It is built by the small things you do again and again. Read a little every day and you become a reader. Practice English daily and you become a better speaker. Exercise regularly, and you become a stronger person. Keep your promises to yourself, and you become someone you can trust. At first, these actions may look too small to matter, but small actions do something powerful when you repeat them. They change who you become. You do not need to transform your whole life today. Start with one small action. Repeat it. Make it part of who you are. Remember, small actions may look ordinary today, but repeated every day, they can create an extraordinary life. Lesson 1. Every small action is building the person you become. Most people think a habit is only something they do, but a habit slowly becomes something much bigger. It becomes part of who you are. Think about your daily life. You wake up and check your phone. You drink water. You exercise. You read. You study. You waste time. You save money. You practice a skill. These actions may look small when you do them once, but when you repeat them every day, they begin to shape your life. Imagine two people. The first person reads 10 pages every day. The second person says, "I will start reading when I have more time." After one day, there is almost no difference between them. After 1 week, the difference is still small. But after 1 year, the first person may have read thousands of pages. They have learned new ideas. Their thinking may have improved. Their vocabulary may be stronger. The big difference did not come from one huge action. It came from a small action repeated again and again. This is how habits work. They look small today, but they become powerful with time. The same thing happens with bad habits. You waste 20 minutes today. It does not look serious. You waste 20 minutes tomorrow. Still, nothing terrible happens. But if you repeat it every day for years, think about how much time disappears. A bad habit does not always destroy your life in one day. It slowly takes something from you. A good habit works in the opposite way. It slowly gives something to you. This is why you should stop asking only, "What result will this give me today?" Ask, "What kind of person will this action help me become?" Suppose you want to become fit. Do not only say, "I want a better body." Tell yourself, "I am becoming a person who takes care of my body." Then every workout becomes more than exercise. It becomes proof of your new identity. If you want to improve your English, do not only say, "I want to speak English well." Say, "I am becoming an English speaker." Then practice a little every day. Speak to yourself. Learn a few useful words. Listen carefully. Read something simple. Every time you practice, you are telling yourself, "This is who I am becoming." This idea is powerful because goals can sometimes feel far away. Maybe you want to lose 10 kilograms. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to build a business. Maybe you want to become confident. Those goals can take months or years. If you only think about the final result, you may become tired. Instead, focus on today's action. You cannot finish the whole journey today, but you can take one step. You cannot become fluent in English tonight, but you can practice for 20 minutes. You cannot build a strong body in one workout, but you can complete today's workout. You cannot become successful in one morning, but you can do something useful before the day ends. That is enough. Tomorrow, do it again. then again. And slowly, something begins to change. At first, you are trying to build the habit. Later, the habit begins building you. There's another important point. Do not wait until you feel like the person you want to become. Act like that person first. If you want to become organized, organize one small part of your day. If you want to become disciplined, keep one promise to yourself. If you want to become healthier, make one healthy choice. If you want to become a learner, learn something today. Your identity does not have to change before your actions. Your actions can change your identity. Imagine a young man who always said, "I am lazy." Because he believed that, he acted like a lazy person. Then he decided to make one small change. Every morning, he made his bed immediately after waking up. Nothing more. It took only a few minutes. After some time, he added a short walk. Later, he started exercising. Then he began planning his mornings. Months passed. One day, he realized something. He no longer thought, "I am lazy." He had collected too much evidence against that old identity. His daily actions were telling him a new story. I am someone who takes responsibility for my life. That is the real power of habits. They do not only change what you achieve, they change what you believe about yourself. So be careful with the small things you repeat. They are not as small as they look. Every useful action is a vote for the person you want to become. Every time you repeat it, that identity becomes a little stronger. Always remember, your life is not only shaped by what you do once in a while, it is shaped by what you keep doing. Choose small actions that match the person you want to become. Repeat them daily and give them enough time to change your life. Lesson 2. Start so small that you cannot make an excuse. One of the biggest mistakes people make when building a new habit is trying to change everything at once. They become excited and say, "From tomorrow, I will wake up at 5 a.m. I will exercise for 2 hours. I will read 50 pages. I will study every day. I will stop using my phone." For 2 or 3 days, everything feels great. Then life becomes busy, energy becomes low, the plan feels too difficult, and slowly they return to their old routine. The problem is not always that they are lazy. Sometimes they simply started too big. If you want a habit to stay, make the beginning easy. Suppose you want to start reading. Do not tell yourself, "I must read for 1 hour every day." Start with 5 pages. If 5 pages feel difficult, read 2. Your first goal is not to finish 50 books. Your first goal is to become someone who opens a book every day. If you want to exercise, you do not need to begin with a difficult 1-hour workout. Start with 10 minutes. Walk, stretch. Do a few simple exercises. Make showing up easy. If you want to improve your English, start with 10 minutes every day. Learn a few useful sentences. Listen to a short conversation. Speak for 5 minutes. Do not worry about becoming fluent immediately. Your first job is to create the habit of practicing. Make consistency your first success. Think about building a wall. You do not build the whole wall with one giant brick. You place one small brick, then another, then another. After enough time, you have something strong. Your habits work in the same way. Small actions may not impress anyone. Nobody will clap because you read 3 pages. Nobody may notice that you practiced English for 10 minutes. Nobody may care that you walked for 15 minutes. But you should care, because you are teaching yourself to show up. And once showing up becomes normal, you can slowly do more. 10 minutes can become 20. 2 pages can become 10. A short walk can become a full workout. But first, build a habit. Then build the size. Another reason small habits work is because they give your mind fewer excuses. When you tell yourself, I need to exercise for 90 minutes, your mind can say, I am too tired. But when the goal is 10 minutes, it becomes harder to make that excuse. You think, okay, I can do 10 minutes. And many times, after you begin, you may naturally continue longer. Starting is often harder than continuing. So make starting simple. You can also connect a new habit with something you already do. After brushing your teeth, drink a glass of water. After breakfast, read 2 pages. After coming home, practice English for 10 minutes. Before going to bed, prepare what you need for tomorrow. Your old routine can become a reminder for your new habit. And do not try to build 10 new habits together. Choose 1 or 2 important things. Give them time. Let them become normal. Then add something new. You are trying to create a lifestyle, not win a 7-day challenge. There will also be days when you have very little energy. On those days, do the smallest version of your habit. Cannot exercise for 30 minutes? Do 5. Cannot read 10 pages? Read 1. Cannot study for an hour? Study for 10 minutes. The goal on difficult days is simple. Keep the habit alive. Doing less is sometimes better than doing nothing, because every time you show up, you strengthen the message. This is what I do. Imagine a woman who wants to become a writer. She keeps waiting for a free weekend so she can write for 6 hours. But that free weekend never comes. Months pass. Then she changes her plan. She decides to write for 15 minutes every morning. At first, she writes very little, but she continues. 15 minutes becomes part of her morning. Weeks turn into months. Pages begin to grow. Eventually, she has something she never created during all those months of waiting. A finished piece of work. She did not need a perfect day. She needed a repeatable habit. That is the lesson. Do not make your beginning so difficult that you are afraid to begin. Make it simple. Make it clear. Make it possible even on an ordinary day. You can grow it later. Always remember, big results do not always need a big beginning. Start with an action so small that excuses become difficult. Repeat it until it feels normal, and let your small habit grow into something powerful. Lesson 3. Your environment shapes your habits. Sometimes you think you need more willpower, but the real problem may be your environment. Look around you. What is easy to reach? What do you see every day? What is always beside you? These small things can influence your actions more than you realize. Imagine you want to read every night, but your book is inside a cupboard while your phone is beside your bed. Which one will you probably pick up first? Your phone. Not always because you are lazy. The phone is simply easier to reach. So instead of fighting yourself every night, change the environment. Put the book on your pillow or beside your bed. Keep your phone farther away. Make the good choice easier. Your surroundings can either support your habits or fight against them. Suppose you want to eat healthier. If your kitchen is full of food you are trying to avoid, you will need to say no again and again. But if healthier choices are already prepared and easy to reach, making a better decision becomes simpler. If you want to exercise in the morning, prepare your clothes the night before. When you wake up, you do not need to search for anything. Your next action is already waiting for you. If you want to practice English, keep your learning material somewhere visible. Leave your notebook on your desk. Save a short lesson where you can easily find it. Create a simple place where you practice every day. Your environment should remind you of the person you want to become. The same idea works with bad habits. Make them harder. If you spend too much time on your phone, do not keep it beside you while working. Put it in another room for 30 minutes. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Remove apps from your home screen if they keep distracting you. Every extra step gives you a moment to think, do I really want to do this? Sometimes, that small pause is enough to stop an automatic habit. People are also part of your environment. If everyone around you wastes time, complains, and laughs at improvement, staying focused becomes harder. But when you spend time with people who learn, work, exercise, or build useful things, those actions begin to feel more normal. This does not mean you should leave every friend who is different from you. It means you should understand that the people around you can influence your standards. Choose your close environment carefully. Spend more time with people who make you want to grow. You can also create simple reminders around you. If you want to drink more water, keep a bottle where you can see it. If you want to save money, create an automatic saving system. If you want to plan your day, keep your notebook on your desk. If you want to sleep earlier, create a bedtime alarm. Do not depend on remembering everything. Design your day so the right action becomes easier to remember. Think about a man who wants to start exercising every morning. For months, he tells himself, "Tomorrow I will do it." But every morning he wakes up, looks for his clothes, cannot find his shoes, checks his phone, and slowly loses interest. Then he makes a small change. Every night, he puts his workout clothes and shoes beside his bed. He fills his water bottle. He decides exactly what exercise he will do. In the morning, there is almost nothing to decide. He gets dressed and begins. His body did not suddenly receive more motivation. His environment became better. That is an important lesson. Do not make every good habit a daily battle. Help yourself. Remove unnecessary difficulties. Make useful actions clear and simple. Make harmful actions less convenient. And remember, your environment also includes what you watch and listen to every day. The content you consume can affect your thoughts. If your attention is constantly filled with negativity, comparison, and distraction, your mind will carry those things into your day. Choose what enters your mind with care. Your attention is valuable. Protect it. You do not need a perfect environment before you can improve. Start with your own room, your desk, your phone, your morning. Change what you can control. Small changes around you can make better choices easier. Always remember, do not only ask, how can I become more disciplined? Ask, how can I make the right choice easier? Build an environment that supports the person you want to become, and your habits will have a stronger place to grow. Lesson 4. Be consistent, even when you do not feel motivated. Starting a good habit can feel exciting. You make a plan. You feel ready. You tell yourself, this time I am going to change. For the first few days, everything feels easy. Then something happens. You feel tired. You become busy. The excitement disappears. And suddenly, the habit you wanted to build feels difficult. This is where many people stop. But you need to understand something important. A strong habit cannot depend only on motivation. Motivation changes. Today, you may feel excited to exercise. Tomorrow, you may want to stay in bed. Today, you may enjoy studying. Tomorrow, your phone may look much more interesting. If you only take action when you feel motivated, your progress will always stop when your feelings change. That is why consistency matters. Consistency means showing up even when the day feels ordinary. You do not need to do something amazing every day. You simply need to keep the habit alive. Suppose you decide to practice English every day. On a good day, you may practice for 40 minutes. Great. But on a busy day, maybe you only have 10 minutes. Use those 10 minutes. Speak a few sentences. Listen to something short. Review some words. The goal is not to make every day perfect. The goal is to keep returning. The same is true for exercise. Some days you may have an excellent workout. On another day, you may feel tired. Do a shorter session. Walk for a while. Stretch. Do something. A smaller action still tells your mind, I am a person who takes care of my body. This is how identity becomes stronger. Every time you show up, you give yourself proof of who you are becoming. And there will be days when you completely miss the habit. That happens. You are human. Maybe you get sick. Maybe something unexpected happens. Maybe you simply have a bad day. Do not turn one missed day into a reason to quit. One bad meal does not destroy your health. One missed workout does not remove your strength. One day without studying does not destroy everything you learned. The danger begins when one day becomes 1 week, and 1 week becomes 1 month. So create a simple rule. If you miss once, return as soon as you can. Do not waste time feeling guilty. Just come back. This is much more useful than trying to be perfect. Imagine you are walking toward a destination. If you take one wrong turn, you do not return home and cancel the whole journey. You correct your direction and continue. Treat your habits the same way. You should also stop expecting fast results. This is where consistency becomes difficult. You exercise for 2 weeks and look in the mirror. Very little has changed. You practice a skill for a month and still feel like a beginner. You save money, but the amount still looks small. Then your mind asks, what is the point? The point is that you are building something that needs time. A tree does not become tall because you poured water on it once. It grows because it receives what it needs again and again. Your growth works in a similar way. You may not notice improvement every day, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Your body is adapting. Your knowledge is growing. Your skill is improving. Your discipline is becoming stronger. Your identity is changing. Give the process enough time. Also, make sure your habit is realistic. If your routine is so difficult that you constantly want to escape from it, make it simpler. You do not win by creating the hardest plan. You win by creating a plan you can actually follow. It is better to read 10 pages regularly than 50 pages once in a while. It is better to practice for 20 minutes most days than study for 5 hours once and disappear for 2 weeks. It is better to make steady progress than constantly start again. And do not worry if your progress looks boring. Real improvement often is boring. There may be no exciting music. Nobody may clap. Nobody may notice. You wake up. You do the work. You repeat it tomorrow. Then you repeat it again. Months later, people may look at your results and say, you changed so much. But you will know the truth. There was no single magical day. There were simply many ordinary days when you decided not to stop. That is the power of consistency. Always remember, you do not need to feel motivated every day. You need a habit strong enough to survive the days when motivation is gone. Keep returning. Keep repeating the right actions and allow time to turn your small effort into something extraordinary. Lesson 5. Break bad habits by changing the pattern. Building good habits is important, but sometimes moving forward also means stopping the habits that are pulling you backward. Maybe you spend too much time on your phone. Maybe you sleep too late. Maybe you keep delaying important work. Maybe you spend money without thinking. Maybe you eat when you are bored. You may tell yourself, I need to stop doing this. But a bad habit usually does not disappear only because you want it to. First, you need to understand what starts it. Every habit has a pattern. Something happens. You feel something. Then you take an action. For example, you feel bored. You pick up your phone. You open social media. You plan to use it for 5 minutes. Suddenly 40 minutes are gone. The phone is not the beginning of the pattern. Boredom may be the beginning. Or maybe stress is the reason. You have a difficult day, so you look for something that gives you quick comfort. If you understand what starts the habit, changing it becomes easier. So when you notice yourself repeating something you want to stop, ask, what happened just before I did this? Were you bored? Tired? Stressed? Lonely? Was your phone sitting in front of you? Did someone remind you of something? Find the trigger. Then change what happens next. Suppose you always check social media when you feel bored. Instead of saying, I will never use my phone again, prepare a different action. When boredom comes, walk for 5 minutes. Drink water. Read something. Do a small task. Talk to someone. Give your mind another choice. This is easier than simply trying to remove the habit and leaving an empty space. You can also make bad habits harder to start. If you use your phone too much while studying, leave it in another room. If you buy things online without thinking, remove saved payment details. If you stay awake because you keep watching videos, charge your phone away from your bed. Create a little distance between you and the action you are trying to reduce. That small difficulty gives you time to think before acting. And do not say, this is just who I am. That sentence can keep you trapped. I am always lazy. I have no self-control. I can never wake up early. I always waste money. These are not permanent identities. They are patterns you have repeated, and patterns can change. Instead, tell yourself, I have been doing this, but I am learning a better way. That gives you room to grow. Another mistake is trying to change everything overnight. You may have followed a bad habit for 5 years. Do not expect it to disappear perfectly in 5 days. There may be times when you return to it. Do not use that moment as proof that you cannot change. Look at what happened. Learn from it. Then continue. Imagine you stopped wasting time on your phone for 1 week, but one evening you spent 2 hours scrolling. Do not think, I failed. Everything is ruined. Nothing is ruined. You had one difficult evening. Ask why it happened. Maybe you were tired. Maybe your phone was beside you. Maybe you had no plan for the evening. Use that information. Then make tomorrow easier. A mistake can teach you how to improve the system. It is also important to understand that removing a bad habit creates time and energy. Use them well. If you stop watching videos for 2 hours every evening but have nothing meaningful to replace them with, you may quickly return to the old routine. Choose something better. Exercise. Learn a skill. Read. Spend time with family. Work on a personal goal. Build something. The goal is not only to remove what is hurting your life, it is to replace it with something that helps your life. Think about a young man who always said, "I don't have time to learn anything." But every night, he spent almost 2 hours scrolling on his phone. He decided not to completely remove social media. Instead, he created a simple rule. Before opening it in the evening, he would practice a useful skill for 30 minutes. At first, 30 minutes felt small, but he continued. Months later, his skill had improved greatly. He did not discover extra hours in his day. He simply changed what he did with the time he already had. That is the power of changing a pattern. Your bad habits may feel strong because you have practiced them many times. But that also teaches us something hopeful. If repetition built the old pattern, repetition can build a new one too. You are not trapped forever. Notice what starts the habit. Make the unwanted action harder. Choose a better replacement. And keep repeating the new pattern until it becomes more natural. Always remember, you do not change your life only by adding good habits. Sometimes, you change it by removing the small actions that quietly steal your time, energy, and future. Change the pattern, and you begin changing the person you become. Lesson 6. Small actions repeated daily. Create extraordinary results. Most people want big results. They want a successful career, a strong body, better English, more money, greater confidence, a better life. But big results usually begin with something much smaller. What you do today. Your life is made of days, and your days are made of small choices. You choose whether to get up or stay in bed. You choose whether to practice or delay. You choose whether to save or spend. You choose whether to learn or waste time. One choice may not change your whole life, but when the same choice is repeated hundreds of times, it becomes powerful. Think about learning English. If you practice for 20 minutes today, you may not notice a big difference tomorrow, but continue for months. You will know more words. You will understand more. Speaking will become easier. People may eventually say, "Your English has improved so much." They see the result. But you know what created it. Many small practice sessions that nobody noticed. The same happens with your health. One healthy meal does not completely change your body. One workout does not make you strong. But repeated healthy choices can slowly create a different body and a different lifestyle. This is why you should not underestimate ordinary days. You may think, today was nothing special. But if you followed your useful habits, today mattered. You added another brick. You strengthened the pattern. You became a little closer to the person you want to be. The problem is that small actions often do not give quick rewards. You read today, but you do not suddenly become smarter. You exercise today, but the mirror looks the same. You save a little money, but you are not suddenly rich. Because the reward is slow, your mind may say, "This is not working." Do not believe that too quickly. Some results need time before they become visible. Imagine filling a bucket one drop at a time. For a long time, it looks almost empty, but every drop matters. Eventually, the bucket fills. Your daily effort works in a similar way. Do not stop adding the drops because the bucket is not full yet. Another powerful thing happens when you repeat good habits. They begin to affect each other. You start exercising, so you want to eat better. You eat better, so you have more energy. You have more energy, so you work with better focus. You become more focused, so you finish important tasks. You finish those tasks, so your confidence grows. One small improvement can begin helping another part of your life. This is how change can slowly become bigger. But remember, you do not need 20 perfect habits. Choose a few that truly matter. Maybe you read every day. Move your body. Practice your skill. Plan tomorrow before sleeping. Spend less time on things that give you nothing. Keep these actions simple enough to continue. Then give them time. Do not change your plan every 3 days because you saw a new idea online. Sometimes you do not need a better method. You need more time with the method you already started. There will be boring days. There will be busy days. There will be days when your effort feels too small. Keep going. Extraordinary results are often built during ordinary moments. Nobody sees the person studying alone. Nobody sees the early morning practice. Nobody sees the money quietly being saved. Nobody sees the hundreds of small choices. Later, people see the result and call it success. But success was being built long before it became visible. Imagine two people beginning at almost the same place. One chooses a useful small habit and repeats it. The other keeps saying, "I will start soon." After 1 week, there may be almost no difference. After 1 month, perhaps only a little. But after several years, their lives may look completely different. That is why your habits matter so much. You are not only deciding what to do today, you are deciding what direction your life is moving in. And this brings us back to the main message of this video. Your habits create your identity. Every time you read, you strengthen the identity of a learner. Every time you practice, you become more skilled. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build self-trust. Every time you return after a bad day, you become more consistent. You are slowly teaching yourself, "This is the kind of person I am." So, do not wait for one magical day that completely changes your life. Use the day you already have. Choose one useful action. Do it today. Repeat it tomorrow. Keep repeating it until it becomes part of you. Then build from there. Small actions can look powerless when you see them once. But repeated daily, they can change your skills, your health, your confidence, your future, and finally your identity. Build the right habits, and over time, those habits will build you. My dear friends, before you leave, remember this. Your habits are quietly creating the person you are becoming. You do not need to change everything today. Start small, read a few pages, practice your skill, move your body, use your time wisely, keep one promise to yourself, then wake up tomorrow and do it again. At first, the difference may be difficult to see, but give those small actions enough time and they can create results you never imagined. Do not wait for the perfect Monday, the perfect month, or the perfect moment. Your new identity begins with the choices you make today. If this video inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Share it with someone who wants to build a better life. And before you go, remember, small actions, repeated daily, extraordinary results. Choose your habits carefully because one day you may look back and realize, those little things changed everything. I'll see you in the next video.